Hello, hello. Um, welcome back. Hold on. Okay. Alright. Might not be a long stream today, but let's get back to it. So it was here. Alright. It's been a while. I'm sorry that it's been a while. Wait, let me just check that everything is fine. Yeah. Everything is fine. Yeah, okay. I watched as three of my friends wandered in and joined the small circle that was forming while Haas wandered over to the kettle to make himself some tea. Morning. Russell mumbled though it seemed like he was still out of it, sipping his coffee slowly despite it probably having gone cold. So, today's the day, huh? Russell, you're looking better. How are you feeling? Another mumbled response with him seemingly distracted by something far off. Still waking up, but feeling better than yesterday apparently. Have you two been up for a while? Couldn't sleep. Well, no wonder. I don't think any of us slept all that great either. Though we apparently did get more than you did. If Russell is feeling better, how does that affect the plan for tonight? Well, if he's feeling well, then back to the original plan, right? No one had said anything, and I frowned upon not hearing from one of the one person I assumed would have had something to say. Where's Ty? No idea. We all sort of ran into each other on the stairs and walked in together. Figured he'd already be down here if you and Russell were. Guess he's still sleeping. I suppose it doesn't matter too much. We'll go with Russell, and if nothing else, if nothing else, we have a backup plan. Yup. I gave him a worried side glance, but he didn't seem to register it. Then home. Then we'll finally get to go home. That's the plan. Huss wandered over with a cup of tea, looking tired but calm. So we just have to wait until Dominic gets here. And then do the hostage... Well, I guess exchange is the wrong word. Yeah, the fact that we have to hand over Benson makes this feel so wrong. If he's still, is he still where we left him? No idea, haven't checked. And Thanatos? Wasn't here talking to me and Russell before. If he's keen on letting Benson go, then I imagine he's just going to go ahead and just, make sure that make sure that's ready to go. Please don't say it like that. What else am I meant to say? I don't know either. I think if anything we should find Tyson and make sure he's kept in the loop. If Russell is up and about, then there's one less thing he needs to fight Dean over. Wait, I'm just checking. Okay, no. Okay, apparently it's fine. Okay. I'll go grab him if he's still in bed. Just give me a sec. He wandered off, leaving the rest of us to our thoughts. Orlando moved off first, going to make some breakfast, but for the most part it was toasted pumpkin bread. I didn't think I'd ever say no to pumpkin bread, but with how much I gorged yesterday, my stomach said no for me. So I wandered closer to Roswell and took him off the side, looking worried. Roswell had been out of it since Thanatos left, which really only left myself and Dean by the coffee pot staring into the liquid as a fresh pot was made. We stood around waiting until we heard Huss come back. He's not down here. Is he? Who? Tyson? Not that we've seen. Well, he's not upstairs. That can't be right. I checked all the bedrooms, the rec room, even stuck my head into the museum, but he's not anywhere. Oh no. What about downstairs? Figured that's where he'd go next, but not there either. Huh. He wouldn't have left, right? You know him better than any of us. Well, he wouldn't have just wandered off. Not before coffee, anyway. Oh. Someone says coffee? Dude, where the hell were you? Just went for a walk. No big deal. A walk where? Outside? Didn't go far. Just a lap around, lap of the house. Because? No, Tyson is right here. Tyson is right here. Needed to clear my head. Today's not gonna be easy. I watched as his eyes drifted from me over to Roswell, who offered him a half-hearted wave. Oh shit, it's Roswell. Yeah, so neither you or Dean needs to go into the woods now. Yeah, well, we'll see. Dennis, what? What are you talking about? Well, now what? But Tyson was already heading over to the coffee pot, pouring himself a cup. If everyone's accounting for, then that's that. We just have to wait, right? So we did. We holed up in the dining room, keeping watch for Dominic to arrive. We'd confirmed that Benson was where he was left, which, with Thanatos having confirmed that he'd sufficiently drugged him for the exchange. None of us liked it, and for someone that was about to head into the woods, Russell was eerily calm about it. Maybe he'd just resigned himself to what was going to happen, but part of me hoped that he didn't need to go at all. I wandered outside to keep watch after having sat in the same room for most of the day, the fresh air doing me some good. It was quiet and getting later with still no sign of Dominic. I hadn't succumbed to something Thanatos had done, had I? The same thing that had happened to Roswell? As I was about to head back inside, I saw something that made my skin crawl and blood go cold. Well. They made their way across the lawn to the back of the house, and I found myself backing up quickly. Wait here. Oh no, we went over this on the walk here. Dom rolled his eyes, casually walking closer while Jack lingered back. You're here for the, My attention kept going to Jack, who was idly playing with a knife tucked into his waistband. The trade. Are we still going ahead with it? Yeah. Sorry. Coming for a walk with us, Dave? I just want to be clear on what we're doing. We hand over someone and you show us the way off the mountain, right? Oh, that's no fun. How about you hand over someone and we think about showing you off the mountain? That wasn't the agreement, Jack. The boss won't mind. I'm sure of it. Ah, you're here. Who the hell is this? Dom just waved Jack off and addressed Roswell. You who's coming with us? About that, yes, but I'm not the one you'll be keeping as collateral. Then who? Roswell gestured to the door as Saul brought out Benson and propped him up against the side of the house. Oh, is that Benson? He's out cold, huh? Good collateral. So you're going to take Benson as collateral. You're going to take me along for the walk, and after you've shown me how you get a gut on the mountain, I'll come back here. Come back to tell the others. How is this a good deal for us? It makes our job easier and less messy. More boring, you mean? Jack, do us a favor and stop talking. You have yourself a deal. He wandered forward and collected Benson, and with a nod started to talk towards the woods. Wait, actually, I think that was a typo. Started to walk towards the woods. Yeah, that's gotta be a typo. Roswell, come back soon? Might be a couple of hours, but don't worry. I'll be back before you know it. Then Russell wandered off too, with almost a spring in his step in the direction Dominic went. Never allowed to have any fun. I've got a feeling that Jack is going to probably kill Roswell just because he likes killing, or ugh. That's not gonna go well, that's what I'm trying to say. Then Jack, without even so much as a look in my direction. Then they were all gone, somewhere but beyond the trees, and I just had to hope that Russell would be back soon. It's done now. Sal suddenly talking made me jump, but I turned around to face him. Yeah. Roswell will be back soon. Don't worry. You think so? He just nodded, gesturing towards the back door where beyond the threshold I could see the others looking on from the foyer. Let's just wait for him to come back. It won't be long. Much like with the rest of the day, we just sat down and waited. Orlando got a deck of cards from upstairs to pass the time, but the hours started to tick by. After the second hour, we were convinced it could just be a longer walk than what we gave it credit for. After the third, we justified it as his legs was just being shorter. By the fifth, though, we spent long stretches staring at the back door, wondering what was keeping him. Night had fallen hours ago, so the trek back would have been so much worse in the dark. But much like the first time that he had gotten lost, or rather, now with the power of foresight, Orlando started throwing together something sweet in the kitchen to maybe help guide Roswell back to the house. The lack of sleep was catching up to me, though, and I found myself dozing against various people as they came to sit next to me. At some point, just after midnight, I must have passed out. The weightless feeling of being picked up and carried somewhere was the last thing I registered before it all went black. Roswell would be back eventually, and soon. I just had to have faith. We have 6 days left. At this point, I've got a feeling that Path B will have all 30 days, but it's just not going to end well. Because, geez, Path B is still going. But then, I guess that's just like the bad ending or something. I don't know. It was always a case of waiting. Waiting for Roswell to come back. Waiting for us to get off the mountain. Waiting for Dad to get home. Always waiting. I could feel myself being moved, though I was far from conscious. At first I thought it was a dream, if not immediately accompanied by a sudden warmth covering my whole body. Ben, maybe? The sun? My mind went to a campfire or a cozy fireplace in somewhere far from the mountain. Anywhere from here, the further the better. The furthest place I could think of was my street. It was safe. It was familiar. More importantly... Oh. That's new. Or more like... Wait, is it where where the game starts actually? Probably. It was a bus stop, a short way from my home, and the place we all gathered at the start of the okay, yeah. It was the place where if we never have gotten onto that bus, we wouldn't find ourselves scared for our lives. What would have happened if I never got on that bus? What would have happened if I just stopped everyone from getting on the bus? Or even then, what if we had just gone to the beach instead? Maybe if I wished hard enough, I'd magically appear there. Maybe I'd wake up and this would all be just some dream I was having. The moment I opened my eyes, I sighed. A half-hearted slap to my face told me that I was awake and that this wasn't a dream, though how I got to bed was a mystery. All I could tell that it was still morning, and I was in my own room. I half expected to wake up next to someone, or at least be in a different room, but this must have just been easier. I grumbled, then got out of bed, rubbing my eyes. I grabbed a change of clothes and stumbled towards the door, opening it slowly. Sounds were coming up from the foyer, though when I got there, no one was around. It seems that whoever was around had moved into the dining room. Hello? Saul was there, though I could hear someone else in the kitchen. My immediate guess would have been Orlando or Dean, but I sat down at the table. Hey. Oh, good morning. He was stiff, distracted, and I got the answer as to why before I could ask directly. Roswell still hasn't come back. Yeah, something happened to him. Something happened to him. I waited up all night, but nothing. You're not tired? Exhausted. Huss wandered out from the kitchen with tea, sitting down a cup in front of Saul. Hey, Dave. Sleep alright? I guess so. Roswell's not back though? Yeah, I napped earlier to try and keep a lookout with Sal, but nothing. I don't like it. Something could have happened to him. Last time he just got lost. Yeah, he got lost. This time, well, we know there are people out there. And he followed one into the woods. He'll be fine. Thanatos scrambled up the tablecloth and came to a stop just beside where I was sitting. Oh, will he now? Yes? Can we define fine? As in, not dead. That's better? If you know what happened to him, I want to hear it. What are you going to do? Make me tell you? I was going to ask nicely. Would that work? At this point, if it doesn't, I'm willing to go to more extreme measures. How extremes are we at talking? I'll save you the effort. Ripping my head off isn't going to work. Who would do that? Well, Dave, most likely. He tries anyway. Huh? But if you really want to know how he'll be fine, just wait. I don't want to wait. Too bad. There's nothing we can do at all. Unless you're planning on sending Dean in to go look for him. Not really. Would that be a good idea? Sending Dean in? Let's just think about that for a second. Roswell is missing, somewhere out there, and you think sending someone else in is a good idea. Sounds like a trap to me. If we were to send anyone in, I agree that it should be Dean, but I have my reservations about it too. See, just wait and Roswell will be fine. I really don't like how you leave it as fine. Well, tough luck. If I may ask though, is everything going according to plan? Like you've been through, you've been through this before? Sure. And now the truth? That's the truth. What was the pause for then? Parts of my memory are missing from how things play out. I only have small glimpses, and I'm filling in the blanks. And then the end? Deleted. Someone deleted, how did your memories get deleted? Sal, he's the Volt of, or whatever, remember? Just a robot. So someone hacked him? Or maybe his master purposefully deleted that part of the memory? That's, maybe. If they did, I don't know anything about it. How can we find out? Trust me, if there's a way I would have looked into it myself. If there's a way I would have looked into it myself. All I can tell you is that keep going as we are and Roswell shows up again. That feels very unintuitive. If he's going to show up, then I guess that's it. It sucks waiting, but what else can we do? Something I'm not clear on, if I can ask. Go for it. How do you know Roswell will still will show back up if your memory has been altered? Not altered, just sections removed. Sorry, yes, that's what I meant. But what if we do something between now and when you see Roswell come back? That changes how things play out? Thanatos went to quip back. I could see the smirk on his face as he poised himself towards Sal, but quickly faded as his answer seemed to never come. Thanatos? What? You going to say anything to that, or... No. Because? Because I don't have to. Because he doesn't know. Shut it! So, you do know? He was fuming, though remaining quiet. So really, we have the options of doing nothing and hoping for the best, or actually trying to fix the problem by sending someone out there. But that's not what I said. Roswell will be fine. Yeah, under what circumstances? He just shows up. As in, alone? Where? It doesn't matter. It kind of matters. A little bit. Okay, so when the others get down here, we'll run through what our options are. I looked across to Thanatos and he seemed to be at a loss. It was a problem only because Thanatos knew Roswell would return, just not how, or why, given he seemed to not want to share. I guess that's all we can do, right? Do whatever you want. Hey, Thanatos, can I ask you something? What? Not now. Later. I don't know how to phrase it yet. Or you could just ask now. May as well. Oh, sure, I guess. Ask me later. But I can't ask you now. Later. But... wow. Great. And he was gone, leaving me scratching my head. That seemed a little rude. What were you going to ask him anyway? He just seemed upset, so I wanted to know he was okay. What else? If he had any ideas on what we could do to ensure Roswell come back. He seemed stressed. And what else? What do you mean, what else? The two of them shared a brief look at one another before turning back to me. I understand that he's the Volt, and that you use the Volt to keep us safe, but he's not manipulating you, is he? Not the line I would have gone, but for a good enough, but a good enough start. Well, yeah, he's manipulating everyone, isn't he? Dave, that doesn't make it better. If anything, that's evidence to show we shouldn't do what he says. Unless that's part of his plan, assuming we wouldn't believe him to do the very thing he wants us to do. So what? We gamble on it? We take a calculated risk. Meaning? If Dean is willing, and only if he is willing, I would say we send him into the woods to find out what happened to Roswell. Versus what? Waiting? The reason I think being proactive here is better is due to what happened to make Roswell leave in the first place. Benson is also gone, so at some point Dominic will be back, likely with Memphis. And Jack. Exactly. And what? We can't just hide or run? To that end, we give up on Roswell. Don't even think about leaving that chair, Dave. You can talk to Thanatos later. I'd barely shifted, but he was right. I thought I'd seen a means to find out what was on his mind, but Haas already knew where my mind was at. Sorry. We can't run, otherwise we assume Roswell and Orlando are not factors to consider when we leave via the main road. Unless you know any other routes off the mountain. Orlando I get, but we don't know about Roswell. All the more reasons to find out. He's our friend, after all. He might be in trouble and need help. I could have brought up the reason why he was on the one to go in the first place. It was wrong though, in that I would much rather know for certain as to if he was okay rather than assume he was gone. So we wait, right? For the others? Yeah, I guess so. Didn't take long for the others to trickle in. Even less time for them to be all seated at the table so Sal could tell them that regrettably, Roswell hadn't showed up. Then the conversation seemed to repeat, just minus Thanatos. The discussion of what to do next, the pros and cons of going out into the woods to find Roswell versus trying to leave now. Orlando headed into the kitchen, and much like when I disappeared into the woods, his plan was to bake something sweet that with what was left to guide him back. It's not really a choice, is it? It's always a choice. He's right. You don't have to if you don't want to. Dean looked at me, expecting something else, but just shook his head. We can't leave him out there if he's in trouble. You'll be careful, right? He gave me a quick thumbs up and a nod. I'll be back before you know it. Then once we've got Roswell, we can figure out what to do next. We should wait for Orlando to finish baking first. If it's going to work at all, it'll make your job finding him easier. That's a dangerous call. He could be frantically baked the whole day away if left unchecked, so we should place a cap on how long we wait. Smart idea. No sense in waiting until nightfall to get to looking. Blah. Do you need anything? I can give you my flashlight if you need it. Should be fine without it. I can't find another, and I'll take you up on it, but I'm pretty sure I packed a small one. Would a larger one not be better? Given how dark it is in there, I don't think size really matter. Trust me, I'll be fine. What about a weapon? Not a bad idea, though I'd like it if I didn't have to use one. As grim as it may be, hearing a gunshot echoing out is only going to make us worry. That's what I was thinking. So what if I just take the axe from the greenhouse, or a knife with me to help me clear bush? Knife probably works best. An axe is probably just going to get in the way. Rope. You'll need rope. For what? Yeah, for what? Maybe if you need to tie something up? I was thinking more in general, or if Roswell has fallen somewhere you need to pull him out of, or make some sort of carrying thing. Oh yeah, sure. You know how to make things like that. Shouldn't be too hard. Not too different from setting up a hammock from scratch. Alright, well, if there's anything we can do to assist, now's the time to ask. Let's see. If we could find some sort of signal to sound if Roswell ever makes his way back, that'd be nice. No point in being out there if he shows up, right? Do we have anything like that? A flare gun? Or perhaps some sort of siren? The dinner bell? Think it'll be loud enough? We could give it a try. We might not have any other reasonable options. Failing that, I'll try to and come back around nightfall, if only to check in. How's that? It'd make me feel a little better, but we'll find Roswell before then, right? I sure hope so. I looked across to Tyson, who had been quiet up until this point. What do you think, Ty? Huh? What? About Dean going into the woods? Oh, sure. Sounds great. Really? You don't have anything to add? Not really. Huh. Look, Russell didn't come back, so that sucks. We don't really have much in the way of options unless we make a run for it, but that'd mean leaving someone behind. And I already know if I suggested it, you'd say no, so what's there to say? He got up from the table and shrugged. I'm gonna go see if I can stooge some of this food Orlando's baking. I was barely out of my chair before he had disappeared into the kitchen, looking back at the other three back in conversation about some plan for Dean to follow. Which left me to go find Thanatos, though I had no ideas where he'd be. Thanatos? Are you around? Hello? Are you in here? It didn't take me long to find him. He was standing by the window looking outside. Oh, CG. Hey, is now a good time to talk? Sure. So, about what you said downstairs, about your memories. What about them? Thought I was pretty clear about it. Well, I guess, but why? Why are they missing? He just continued looking out the window, looking at the trees. What parts are still there? Do you know who could have deleted them at least? I do. I just don't understand why. Who? My master. He's the one that would have done it. But when? He just shrugged, placing a hand on the glass and shifting slightly. What part of me not remembering do you not understand? At some point, my master deleted my memories of this sequence of events. As for why, beats me. So what? We're just left guessing as to what's meant to happen? Basically. But what about Roswell? I said he'd be fine. In one version of the events, anyway. I trust what my master told me. We just have to wait. So your master knows what's happened to Roswell. You'd have to ask him. Hey, Thanatos, are you okay? Huh? Like, I don't think having your memories uh, messed with feels very nice, so are you okay? That's not a question you should be asking a robot, Dave. Still, would you rather me just leave you alone? Nah, probably better you stick around. Besides, take a look out the window. I looked behind him and saw the endless trees, mountains rising and falling. Somewhere out there was Russell and a bunch of bad people. As my big cage is, this is about as far as I get to see out of it. So you really can't leave the house. Remember, this body just lets me look around and move a bit. It's better to think about it than that I'm part of the house. Even if we put you on like a disc or something? Yeah, good luck with that. I think the world is full enough with only one of me. I sat down next to him and continued looking out the window. So, if you can't leave, how did you meet your master? It was a long time ago. So long that even he doesn't remember. Aha. Because it wasn't in this timeline? I remember what I was like back then, when you first met, the first time I was switched on. I remember knowing nothing. I remember feeling nothing. And you can feel things now? What are feelings if only electric signals in the brain? I can mimic most of them enough that it doesn't matter to me. Which ones can't you copy? I've been asking myself that for the past few lifetimes. Can I feel fear? What it's like? What about love, hope, sadness? Do you know what happiness is like? Yes, if abstract. Meaning? Meaning I understand fundamentally that if my master is happy, then I should be. It makes me have responses in a certain way when I know I've done a good job. Pride beats me. He turned away from the window and sat down next to me, looking at the floor. I'm tired, Dave. Because? Because no one is meant to live this long. I know it's been too long because I've already cycled through thinking about if I'm alive, or what it means to be alive, or if life has meaning, or if a certain quality of life is worth upholding. I don't get it. Say for instance, you went from a normal hyena to being in terrible accident. Something so horrible that you're left bedridden for the rest of your life, barely able to function. That sounds awful. It does, but you'd be alive. But is that living? That's the point I'm making. I would say yes, you are in fact alive, so that's it. But you don't get to go outside or do things. It's like you're just there, existing. That's my point. You have vitals. You're alive. It's more than that. Being able to feel and do and see things. Get some sort of nice feelings from these things. And bad feelings too, I guess. I don't understand. Maybe it's not something robot can understand? You seem to sit with that sentiment for a moment, still quiet by the time I thought of something else to ask. We've had this conversation before, haven't we? Whoops, did I? Oh. Potentially. If we did, I don't remember it. What do you still remember of this situation? Most of today is just empty. That wasn't what I asked. I remember witnessing you and Tyson having an argument. I remember Russell being somewhere alive. As in, he's already here? If he was already here, I would have just said that. He's just around for something later. Which means he either returns or Dean finds him. And without knowing which of the two options to go with, it's hard to know which leads to what I've seen. We could be on a new branch, to be honest. Which means what? It means I'm still deciding on which path I want to try. Why not let Dean go in and try to find Russell, and we just see what happens? And if it goes horribly wrong, can you live with that on your conscience? And if waiting is the wrong choice, you can live with yourself. Can you live with yourself knowing you talked to us out of it? I don't have a conscience. I just chalk it up as a fail and go through it again, but different next time. Which is going to be hard with parts of your memory missing, isn't it? I don't like what you're insinuating. I'm just saying that we don't know how this all works. You do, obviously, but how can you know what the right or wrong call is from the fact your memory has been messed with? You have a point. Meaning? We'll do it your way. See what happens when Dean goes into the woods. And I guess I should go find out why I'm going to argue with Tyson. Sure, I guess. Before that, though, one last question. What is it? How do your memories get removed anyway? It's not like brain surgery is an option, right? Two ways. If someone could find my mainframe, they could potentially mess with it. Though we'd be looking at a lot more than just a few memories lost here and there. Not that you'd forgotten bigger chunks anyway, right? True, but it's unlikely that that's what has happened based on what's left. It feels too selective. So chances are my master asked me to forget certain things. A lot of things by the looks of it. But why? Beats me. Maybe something bad happened. Maybe something good happened and this is a way to try and force it to repeat. And we won't know until we ask. Chances are asking isn't going to help if it's something that happens long after these things come to pass. But what we do know is that all this has happened before, at least once, right? You're learning, Dave. I'm so proud. I rolled my eyes and stood up, Thanatos remaining by the window. I'm going to see what's happening downstairs. Figure out if Dean needs anything else before he goes searching. Do you want to come with? I'd rather stay here and watch. I have things to think about anyway. Well, good luck thinking, I guess. Alright. I'm getting a bit tired. So I hope you guys enjoyed and see you guys next time. I know it was a short stream, but yeah. Take care.